Hey everybody, welcome to the show. We got the Khorne review for you today, and we do our giveaway. We got an email. If you want to email us for questions or anything, it's therealmspodcast@gmail.com. If you want to send us some questions, we'll be glad to answer them. Also like us on Facebook. We have a Patreon. If you want to get on this free Battle Tome action, be sure to sign up. Thank you. Bye.
Bam here from the Flying Monkeys Wargaming Podcast. I want you to head over to www.flyingmonkeycon.com. We are Kansas and Wichita's biggest wargaming event. We have Warhammer 40K, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Infinity, Star Wars X-Wing. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. We have even added a Warhammer 40K friendly this year for players that are inclined to go that way. We have a room block available. With your room block, you get free booze and free food. Can't beat that. Not a lot of cons offer such a thing. So get your tickets soon. Head on over to www.flyingmonkeycon.com. It happens June 21st to the 23rd, 2019, right here in Wichita, Kansas. Hopefully Dunkalicious, Matt, and myself will see you there. Tickets are selling fast, so if you want the higher tiered swag bags, get on it. And don't forget, we have a Horus Heresy narrative event. Great feedback from it last year. We're looking forward to having it this year. Dave runs a great event. See you guys soon. www.flyingmonkeycon.com.
He's the worst.
Real piece of shit, that one.
Right? Yeah. So let's get this started.
Yeah, let's do this fast.
Yeah, right? So we had a ton of news come in today. We're just going to jump into that. New Fire Slayers. Slaanesh. Ton of cool models. I am super surprised. What do you guys think of them?
They are some of the best models I've seen to date.
Yeah, especially from Slaanesh.
I hate Slaanesh, but goddamn, those are beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. I have like two boxes from the Wrath and Rapture of Slaanesh, so I'm good to go.
So I was trying to look. Where are you seeing them?
Warhammer Community.
Yeah, Warhammer Community site.
And I posted on the Oklahoma Age of Sigmar page as well.
Okay. Oh my god, those endless spells are so cool.
Mm-hmm. And one's a terrain piece.
Which one's the terrain piece?
Are you talking about the Slaanesh stuff?
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Here's the terrain piece people? Or is that a thing?
I think it's a terrain piece. I guess nobody knows yet. I haven't really read into it.
I like that it's called the Hedonites of Slaanesh.
Yeah.
Better than the Fisters of Slaanesh, I suppose.
The strap-ons of Slaanesh. So, yeah, pretty cool stuff. A new, some more Endless Spellbox coming out for the, whatever it was called.
Oh, look at this model. It's like a dude with a little kid on his head. That's creepy.
It's cool stuff.
This is some creepy shit.
And a lot of people are excited.
That big dude big dudette, dude. What's going on with this guy?
Right? So.
What you working with?
Yeah, the Fire Slayer's got a terrain piece and a new model, looks like.
Is that molten thing?
Yeah, molten giant.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which is awesome.
Probably like an endless prayer type situation.
Mm-hmm.
No, not really a fan of the naked dwarves, so.
Well, you're not going to buy into that one?
No.
The first time for everything.
Yeah, finally an army Eric doesn't want.
It's fun. So.
Hey, it's not my fault. I like cool shit, and they keep releasing cool shit.
Man, they do. Man, Slaanesh stuff is real fucking cool.
It was like as soon as you see that, like everyone forgets about Khorne from then on. It's like
Khorne who?
It's like now we got new stuff. It's so cool though.
It just keeps happening. Like everyone stopped talking about Skaven, and everyone stopped like Gloomspite's gone now. It's like who plays Gloomspite? What's the point?
I do.
That army's like a month old. Like what?
Mm-hmm. It's so crazy. But
this stuff from Warcry with the Furies and the what are these things? Raptorixes. That thing looks like one of the monsters from the like third Trimmers. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah. Where they came above ground all of a sudden.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Dum 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 dum.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff for sure. I'm completely excited. So, what have you guys been working on, Buck?
Changed my list about 800 times.
Oh yeah, you're actually playing in this tournament coming up.
Yeah. So I played a game on what day was that? Sunday, and it was the list I was going to take, which was Alariel, Tree Lord Ancient, 2 Branch Witches, unit of 30 Dryads, unit of Tree Revenants, and then a 10-man unit. And then I think I took a Balewind. I didn't get any trees out until turn 4. Failed all my casting rolls, and the one that I passed got unbound. Also, the Tree Lord's ability that goes off on a 4-up, and you put some out, didn't go off at all. And then I realized Branch Witches were pretty useless, and a Balewind's pretty useless as well. So made me rethink the entire list.
Yeah, they rely on like a lot of the big models or a bunch of branch witches. What are they? Dryads.
Dryads, yeah. So I'm going with a bunch of big models now. So
yeah, I bet it'll work
we'll
out for you. Cool. I know. Ben, what you been working on, man?
Dude, I'm over here working on the Warhammer community page.
Right. Did you already forget about Khorne?
Who?
Right.
I was looking at this Forbidden Power thing. It's so are they gonna go full on in with the Tomb Kings are now Stormcast?
I mean, pretty much.
I mean, they already named them in like some of the novels. Like some of the names were very Tomb King. Anyway, what have I been working on? Getting this tournament all figured out. I decided last week to look into getting live streaming going. So now I'm like, can I do it in a week?
Oh God, probably
Right.
not.
I mean, I might have it locked. So I got the tweet. Yeah, I think I figured it out. I just got to order a couple of things, but we'll see.
I see. I'm bringing my mic for it and everything.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm also kind of just want to play some games with Nick. So.
Right.
I don't know.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if I order this shit. It all comes down to if I want to spend $100 or not, basically at this point.
Yeah, I got a really nice mic, but it picks up everything.
Yeah, and I think I might just I don't know. I'll decide by the end of the night if I'm gonna do it or not.
Right.
So I bought full on into the new Khorne stuff, of course. That was a thing.
Yeah, it's apparently really good from what you've been saying.
Did you get all the endless knot spells?
Yeah, all my judgments of Khorne and my my little bitty
Judgy bitch.
my little bitty skull shrine.
Little bitty.
It's real tiny.
Yeah, it's not as big as the other one.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Like it's as big as half of the boat.
Okay, so it's like the size of the throne for the flesh eaters.
Is the throne pretty small?
Yeah, pretty much. It's probably a little bit more bigger around, but the same. But I think the Khorne shrine's a little bit shorter.
Yeah, it was like they're like, oh, this is gonna do a whole lot because it gives you -1 to cast within 16 inches of it. So I was like, oh, look how small they made it.
Right.
So you don't take up too much of the board. Like if they would have made it the size of the Loon Shrine, like it would have been real helpful.
Yeah, right.
Dude, that thing is ridiculously big, honestly.
It is.
And even the Skaven ones, just because you have 3 of them.
Right. Because what are they, like 4 inches across?
Yeah, I think they're like
3
5,
inches?
maybe 6.
Really? They're that big?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's large and in charge.
Nice.
So I played some games. I'll talk about that in a minute.
Cool. Sounds good. Eric, what you been working on, man?
I've been painting up a Blood Bowl team and trying to decide if it's feasible for me to get 2,000 points painted in a week. It's not going to happen.
Right. You gonna borrow one of our armies?
Maybe. Or I'll see if the tournament organizer will let somebody play gray plastic. Probably not, but
We'll see. We know the guys, so.
yeah.
Just paint it. Just go for it. You can do it. I believe
Oh,
you.
dude, I have to work like 13 plus hours every day. I don't think it's going to happen.
Merc.
Just do it in a weekend, man. That's what
Yeah,
everyone else does. Everyone else is painting their army this weekend.
Yeah, pick up a little meth, and who needs sleep?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Perfect. That's fun.
Well, normally I would, but I
Do
have
meth?
too many. Yeah, normally I would do meth, but no, I have too many commissions, man. This week I actually just gave myself a headache thinking about it. So
Nice. Well, all right, but I've been working on badges and trophies. I got all the badges finished. I started working on little name badges for all the Texas guys, just to do something nice for them for driving 10 hours to Oklahoma to our tournament. So those are coming along, be really cool.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, I think they're like little Texas Ranger badges.
Oh, that's cute.
Cool. And then I'm making Ben a Judge Dredd badge because I already have one for tournament judge. So, and then just getting all the paperwork around, getting everything, helping Charles get everything rounded up so he can print it for us.
Nice. That's very kind of him to do that.
Yep. And
save us a little cash.
hobby wise, I've been just tinkering with these flesh eater cords. I did acquire 3 more terror guys.
Jesus.
So I'll have 5 total, which I'm gonna run.
That's amazing.
It'll be 5 terror guys and 2 Arg Regents, so it'll be fun for everybody. So other than that, that's pretty much how it's been going.
I had a fun thing happen this week actually. Whenever talking to John Napick, and I'm like, "Hey, so what hotel are you staying at?" And he's like, "Oh, the one in Bartlesville." And I was like, "No, you're not. That would be a bad deal."
Yeah, because go ahead, man.
So I had to get a hold of everybody, individually, whoever's coming from out of town. Like, hey, just so you know, this is in Edmond, Oklahoma, which is 3 hours away from Bartlesville. I hope you have the right place. Make sure. And I think a lot of people are actually staying at that little shitty hotel that you picked.
Who's that, me?
Yeah.
It looks like a nice hotel. It's all inside. There's no outside doors or meth labs, it looks like.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
then I don't want to stay there.
I figured that, we'd probably, it's my birthday weekend, so we'll probably, a big group of us will go eat dinner, and then, we talked about doing a recording that night.
Yep.
Saturday. So, so I figured if everyone's in the same place, then it'll be more fun, and we'll just have, a big old party.
Yeah, I'm sure they have a conference room or something somewhere.
Yeah.
That'd
Or
be
a
pretty
stairwell.
Cool. Yeah, right. Do it old school style.
Anyway,
cool deal.
I for sure need to play my Skaven because I don't want to move around that many models.
Right.
I'll be drunk after that first night.
You'll be hungover. It's good stuff.
No, I'll still be drunk.
I don't know.
If push comes to shove, I might.
24
That'll be a fun army. Cool.
I was hoping Nick had his Star Drake so I could just push around 4 models and call it good.
Yep.
Oh, I sold the Star Drakes. I'm not trying to sell the rest of the Stormcast stuff. Well, I like it, but it's like Space Marines for AOS to me.
Yeah,
Only
that's why I sold all mine.
Yeah, I mean, I like the army.
That's just because Age of Sigmar is a superior game. So.
That's true.
Hashtag 40gay.
Right. So anyway, let's get into the brunt of the thing and talk about some corn.
Yeah.
We're talking elotes or what?
What?
Elotes.
Ben knows what's up.
But corn. Some people looks like from outside, looks like Khorne got nerfed, but if you really dig in deep, Khorne got a pretty big buff. If you ask
Dude,
me.
the internet was real sad.
Oh, super salty.
That's because nobody understands what they're looking at.
Right.
Like, but Battle Shock.
Mm-hmm. So let's just kind of go over it. Ben, I want to let you take it over, man. This is your baby right here.
Yeah, let's do that. I just realized I didn't have my book,
You
and
son
I
of a
probably
bitch.
should get it. So give me one.
Oh, I think he muted it.
We lost him.
No, he just muted.
Oh,
We didn't lose him this time.
this time.
So, I will say something. I did some light trolling last weekend.
Great.
Light trolling.
Yeah, I found a podcast. It was like a 8th edition podcast. So
Garbage.
I joined their site and then immediately started trolling the site. I posted that meme with the Meg meme where it's like, you guys just think you're better than me, and had like a picture of the old Warhammer logo, and then like the 3 at the bottom was like the 8th edition logo or the AOS logo, like the Azir app, and I forgot what I did on the other one. Just like because it's just so much better. And people are extremely salty. I got called a cunt and all sorts of things underneath the sun.
Oh, is that when you went to the? Yeah, that's fun. What you did there.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah, a little
People
troll day.
were pretty mad.
I do, however, want to talk about Nick maiming the word meme by calling it meme. So
What's that? It's a meme.
It's
You dare.
May.
Don't you do it's a meme.
Nick was like, "Oh, it's a meme." That was the most hick shit I've ever heard in my life.
Hey guys, hey, I've been in Oklahoma way too long. All right, you guys want to come down and play some Sigmar next weekend?
Nah.
Bang my sister. So anyway, you get your book out.
My favorite part of all of that was in a West Coast chat. Your meme came up
Nice.
that night. I was like,
Yeah.
"Did you make that?" And you're like, "Yep." I was like, "Oh, look at you! You're already famous." Apparently, there's an Age of Sigmar shitpost group.
Yeah, there
That
is.
really-
Yeah.
Actually, Josh Brooks started that.
Yep. I'm a founding member.
Me too. Me
Oh, well,
too.
there's the connection. See there?
Ding.
We're such a good community. So tight knit.
Right. So, but anyway,
So, yeah, I got my book.
Khorne it up.
Hey, everybody who listens to this podcast, go to that Age of Sigmar shit posting. It's a fucking gold mine.
Dude, I have not been in that. I need to get on board, apparently.
I think a lot of the Texas guys signed up too. So it's good stuff.
Oh, man. I don't even know where to start with this book.
Dude, to start with like basic stuff. Let's just do
Little
tell us about the
review?
basic rules for everybody, and then we'll kind of go through like we usually do and just pick what
Yeah.
we really like out of it.
All right, well, so I haven't even touched the fluff, but everyone knows what Khorne does. So let's move on ahead. Then there's painted
Blood for
models.
the blood god, skulls for the.
I mean, that's what someone was like. Did you read all that? Man, is there good stuff in the narrative part? And I was like, I mean, how many times? I mean, I've been playing this shit since like 93, 94. It's like, how many times can Khorne like want blood and skulls before you're just like, blood and skulls?
Get you some of them blood and skulls, guy.
So let's see, allegiance abilities. We can start there. They have blood for the blood god, and you receive a blood tithe point. This is the same as last one.
Mm-hmm. Right.
The new blood tithe, number 1 is now you receive a command point, which is pretty fucking sweet.
That's pretty good.
Because
Yeah.
this is a pretty thirsty command point army, especially if you go mortals, I think. I mean, anyway, but yeah, command points are good. 2 is spell eater still, and the rest of them are pretty similar. Yeah, spell eater is a 2. Then you get moving or charging is 3. 4 is piling and attack. 5 is brass meteor. 6. Oh wait, 6 is piling and attack. What is that one?
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's the one
Island
in 6
Move.
is slain. I got you.
Yeah.
Anyway, they're all kind of same. Oh, except number 8 isn't.
7, 8 are really good, I think.
Yeah, 7 is you can heal D3 wounds allocated to every friendly Khorne unit on the field.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right.
Does that restore lost models too?
Ooh, I don't know.
No, it doesn't say it does. But it's
Yeah.
like once you get it off, it stays in play every friendly phase.
Oh shit.
Does it?
Yes,
No,
at the start of
your
each of your
subsequent.
subsequent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just stays there, which is
So
amazing. So
yeah,
I mean,
that's
I
really
think
good.
you could like make a bunch of mini screens and put them together. So like when your screens die, you get a bunch of points, so you can get up there faster. But the number 8's the really good one, I think.
Number 8, you can if the unmodified hit roll of an attack with a melee weapon by a friendly Khorne unit is 6, it scores 2 hits on the target instead of 1. Make a wound and save roll for each hit.
I think that does that.
Like,
I mean, it doesn't.
that's like Crimson Crown.
Does it stay in play though? I mean, it doesn't. I can't tell if it does. It is because it doesn't say until the end of a phase.
Yeah, I guess it's just forever.
It didn't say just during this
Oh.
phase.
Dang.
So it's literally
Yeah.
Crimson Crown for everybody
For
now?
everybody. Wow,
Holy
that's
shit.
that's pretty sweet.
You're like never gonna summon a Bloodthirster now. You're gonna get this first.
No,
so
I know.
your
That's
whole army.
like I didn't realize that both of those stayed in play. That actually changes it a lot.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's why I was saying the last two are like, you want to get 8 points and just get that one, and then maybe get the 7 later if you're, more than likely you won't need the 7 because stuff is either gonna die or, not have any wounds on it. But that number 8,
That
though.
Khorne dies. I mean, you don't play Khorne and have a whole lot of models left at the end of the game.
Right. I mean, if
But
you're
I mean but movement is so important. The movement and the charging and the piling in their hero phase is so powerful. The things that the times that you're just like, oh, this screen needs to move and block you off, and you just jump out there in their hero phase. It's
Right.
fun. Just fun stuff. Summoning.
It's pretty much the same, isn't it?
Pretty similar, yeah. You can only summon the end of your movement phase.
Mm-hmm.
Locus of Fury, you get to reroll hit rolls of 1 for attacks made by friendly Khorne demons if they're 12 inches wholly within 12 inches of a demon hero, or wholly within 16 of a greater demon, which is great because it's just like basically across the board. If you're running all demons,
Right.
you're rerolling 1s. So that's helpful. Slaughter hosts are new. You can choose a slaughter host, or you can create your own, which would be, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't help you at all to create your own. You don't get the extra rules.
Right.
Just
Yeah,
I guess
we'll get to those.
narrative stuff. Command traits. Have you looked at
stick
any of
out?
those?
I looked at a couple of them, but more than likely I won't be with the list I'm trying to run. I probably won't use them.
Right.
I'll be
The
using
slaughter hosts are so good
Yeah.
that, I mean, the way I'm probably going to build my list, I'm going to use the slaughter host, and I'm going to take the command trait and the artifact that are offered there.
Yeah.
But there's some good shit in here.
Yeah, for sure.
I always kind of shy away from the stuff that you have to target a hero or monster with. I'm always looking for things that are like buffing everything around it, or giving it some like destructive capability.
Yeah.
There are like the blood tithe ones, which are sweet, but like the first one in the Khorne Mortals is if you kill a hero or monster, you get 2 blood tithes. But then again, it's hero or monster. It's so reliant.
I think the first 3 are all the same on each one. So.
Oh, on the command traits.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. But add 2 attacks to the characteristics of a general's weapon is pretty sweet on a bloodbound hero. It's just like what bloodbound heroes. I mean, I guess Scar is pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to say, I'm always looking at demons too, so it's kind of my jam. So artifacts, and there's definitely good shit in here, but
For sure.
I'm really focused on the slaughter hosts. Judge Blood Blessings of Khorne. These have changed quite a bit. It's so each priest can take one of these. So you get your War Scroll prayer, and then you can also cast one of, or pray one of these. The so all the different prayers. The prayers are they all hurt you on a 1, basically.
Yeah, it's pretty much standard now.
It's the same way as it was. So there's the +1 save. They do D3 mortal wounds to one of your units and get a blood tithe point. What has changed is you can't stack them anymore. They've worded it so you can only each Blood Blessing of Khorne can be chanted once per turn, regardless how many priests have it. But it doesn't say that for the War Scrolls ones, because they're not blood blessings, they're prayers.
What's the wording on it?
It's on the prayers on their War Scroll.
No, just on the wording for only casting prayers once.
Oh, each Blood Blessing of Khorne can only be chanted once per turn, and regardless of how many priests know that prayer. But these are blood fueled prayers on their War Scroll, and it doesn't say. So they're not blood blessings.
Oh, okay.
So
I'll have
with
to see
that,
if the Daughters of Cain does that.
Bloodbind. So the Slaughter Priest got a new War Scroll prayer that's called Bloodbind, which is incredible. They still get Blood Boil, where they can do the D6 mortals.
Yeah.
Bloodbind lets you pick an enemy unit within 16 inches. This unit is not within 3 inches of friendly units. Your opponent must move that unit a number of inches equal to the prayer roll. Wow. The first model to be moved from this unit must finish the move as close as possible to the closest unit from the chanting model army. Any models within that unit must finish their move within 1 inch of a model from their unit that has already been moved, and as close as possible to the closest enemy unit from the chanting model's army. So basically, you move it the prayer roll. So it has to be at least a 4 to get off. Nice. So, they're moving at least 4 inches. But you can do that multiple times, so you can move things 12.
Yeah.
Which I read that wrong. I've been playing that wrong. Because I thought it was just move your full movement characteristic, which is way better. But still, moving things, 12 inches towards you is that's real big. Yeah. If you had 3 priests.
Can you do it to unit in combat?
No, it can't be within 3 inches of one of your models.
Okay.
Yeah. Cool. So anyway, then you have the blood blessings, though. Like I said, you have +1 save, the D3 mortal wounds to get a blood point. You have heal D3 wounds. Don't take battle shock. That's a big one.
Yeah.
Add 1 to hit rolls. That's a big one. And then spell hex, which is you can just kill an endless prayer.
It's good.
Yeah. So those are all pretty useful, especially since I think that priest is going to be a priest heavy book. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because the judgments are wrapped around the priest too. So the judgments are the new endless spells for Khorne, but they're not spells.
Pretty good.
And then the skull altar basically gives you gore pilgrims. Because the real good part about gore pilgrims was letting you re-roll your prayers with the slaughter priest. And so the skull altar gives you re-roll prayers wholly within 8 of it. And then also it subtracts 1 from casting rolls with wizards that are within 16 inches of the model. So that's pretty sweet.
Nice.
Yeah. Because you basically, Gore Pilgrims also extended the length of the Blood Secretor.
Mm-hmm.
But now that the Blood Secretor doesn't give you immune to battle shock anymore, it's that doesn't matter anyway. So Gore Pilgrims, it's the +1 attack still, and the re-rolling of spells that are cast. But yeah, basically, you get the good shit from Gore Pilgrims for free. I miss anything in that?
No, I think you pretty much covered it.
Moving right along.
Yes.
Next is the slaughter hosts, tribes. Yep. Slaughter hosts. The first two are for demons,
Mhm.
right? And then the
Yep.
second two are for mortals.
Mortals.
The
All
one,
mortals.
yeah, the one that sticks out to me for the demons, the Reapers of Vengeance. Right off the bat, so these are free. These are like the houses or all the different stuff, like the Ideneth,
Right.
like all the armies have them now, right?
Mhm.
But the Reaper, so if you choose this, you do have to take the command trait and the artifact. But so right off the bat, you get if an enemy unit fails a battle shock test within 3 inches of any friendly Reapers of Vengeance demon unit, add D3 to the number of models that flee. And that's just a free bonus, right? So like yesterday in the game, it didn't do a ton of things, but it did kill a unit that would have had like 3 models left, and they were death, so they were gonna regenerate. So
I mean, if you're doing like Blight Kings or something, and you do make them fail like by 1, where 1 model's going to flee, that's an extra,
right,
1 to 3 models. So I mean, it could be coming handy.
And so like against Blight Kings or Stormcast or Ideneth, where like their eels fell, and it's like, oh shit, now you got to take D3 at more. Like that's a big deal.
Right.
And then their command ability is where it's at though. If you use the command ability, you pick 1 friendly Reapers of Vengeance demon unit wholly within 8 inches of a friendly demon model with this command ability. After this unit has fought in the combat phase for the first time, if it's within 3 inches of an enemy unit, it can immediately make a pile-in move and then attack with all the melee weapons it is armed with for a second time. So that shit does work when you got 30 bloodletters in combat. Now that wholly within 8 is tight, but yesterday I had a unit of 14 of them fight twice, and they did a lot of they killed off a unit that I needed dead. And then the command traits is really sweet because it basically gives your general an unbind, but then on the roll, if it's an unmodified 8, the caster suffers D6 mortals. So I did that. I did that to what's his name? What's the death? So, yeah.
Oh, dude, the artifact is where it's at. That's awesome.
And the artifact 2+ ignores the effects of the spell of the bear. Yeah. So all of these things are good.
Right.
And that's like you pick that, you get all that free on top of everything else you have.
It's good.
Bloodlords, it's kind of dumb. Like you can reroll wounds of 1 for attacks made friendly Bloodlord units that target a hero or a monster. So right off the bat, it's a hero or monster thing. Like doesn't fucking matter. The command abilities, you can heal 1 wound allocated to each friendly demon with the model within 16 inches. It's like 1 wound. Yeah, it doesn't really do much for you.
Yeah.
The general gets a 4 inches extra move. Yeah, so it's just like not as impressive, right?
Yeah, right.
So, and then there's the mortal ones. Did you like look over the mortal ones? Weren't you looking at?
Yeah, I did. The one I really liked was the Gore-Tide. Well, see, the problem I have with this is the command ability and how it words how you cast the command ability.
Right.
Like, it doesn't say, like, it says model who has it. Well, how does he get it? Is it part of his war scroll? Is it, the reason I asked that is because I want to take Archaon and, like, 4 Slaughter Priests and give my whole army a 6-inch run and charge, which would be pretty crazy. Because Archon lets you do the command abilities of everyone on the battlefield. And if they all had this command ability, that'd make it awesome. So,
yeah,
that's why I was liking it. And then, the other things are pretty good because you get to reroll wounds of 1 for attacks for mortal units within 12 of an objective marker. It could come in handy, but you got to be wholly within that 12 inches.
Yeah, that's 24 inches of either side of it, though. So that's big old fucking space on the board. And a lot of the missions, they're overlapping. So, you could have blood, like, even like Duality of Death. The whole middle of the board is within 12 inches of an objective marker, pretty much, isn't it?
No, I think so.
12, 24. Yeah. So then, you could have 2 units of Blood Reavers with, like, just 80 guys sitting there rerolling wound rolls of 1. That's pretty big for them.
Right. And then the command traits, It's okay. Add one of the damage characteristic, and then the artifacts ignore modifiers for taking damage from save rolls.
That's pretty sweet.
So basically makes him a 9 haunt modifier. So if you get like a Slave to Darkness model that has a high armor save, might be pretty good.
Well, I mean, if it's Archeon, what's his?
Well, he can't. He wouldn't be able to take it.
Oh, he wouldn't be able to take it. So, yeah.
But I think the Chaos Lord on Manticore is like a 3-up.
Oh yeah, it's true.
So
yeah, someone was asking about the dragon, and I was like, well, the dragon's a named character, so
yeah. And the other one is just it's okay.
It's kind of it's kind of similar to the other demon one.
Yeah, real hitting wounds and 2 blood hides when you slay a hero, so it's pretty situational.
Right.
So.
And I get like trying to make like it's like trying to bring back that whole like hero fighting hero thing that like Chaos used to want to do. Which is super annoying. But like it's just what if they only take 2 heroes? Then it's like not even worth it. But,
right.
Oh, Path to Glory. I'm sure it's fun.
All right. So just kind of go over the battalions you like. I didn't really look over the battalions because they were so small. A lot of them are. The first thing I did was turn to Blood Legion and tried to fit it in an army, which is just impossible. Because that's the big war scroll for the demon, the big battalion for the demons that gives decapitating blow for blood letters lands on a 5+ instead of a 6. But Blood Host in itself is 1 Bloodthirster and 7 units. And so then you also have to have that, you have to have Blood Legion, and then you have to have at least 3 Murder Host, Blood Host, any of the other ones basically. Yep.
So pretty much it's just all like way too much. I think Eric's bowing out us.
Yeah, I think he has to work early in the morning.
Good night, sweetheart.
Very, very early. I'll let you guys continue your corny talk.
Mm-hmm. The cornflakes.
But in the meantime, see you later, fuck boys.
Bye.
Yeah, so then a lot of these are kind of lackluster. Murder Host just got kind of punched in the dick. It's like add 2 to run and charge rolls for units with this battalion while they're wholly within 16 inches of a Bloodletter hero.
Right.
It'd be cool if you could run and charge, but you can't run and charge. So it's add 2 to run and charge rolls.
I mean, if you could take that Bloodthirster maybe, or
yeah. It's just but you'd have to work for that extra 4 inches. You know what I mean?
That's what she said.
Just, yeah. We'll just sit on that one for a minute. That's what she said as well. So Blood Thunder Stampede is pretty sweet. That's the one that I like the most. It's Herald of Khorne, Skullmaster, so it's the dude on Juggernaut, and then Blood Crushers, which are the demons on Juggernaut. It basically it just makes their mortal wounds automatically go off instead of having to roll for it. But it's a 2+, so I don't know. You got to remember when you're buying War Scroll battalions, you're paying for getting your drops down, and you're paying for an extra artifact, and you're paying for a command point. So it's hard to look at this and be like, I think Blood Thunder Stampede is like 140 points. Blood Thunder. And so it's like 140 points isn't worth that. Like, to me, it's not worth saying, oh, if I roll 1s, they don't do their damage. But it might be worth it if I'm trying to do a 1-drop or at least like a 4-drop army.
Right. I think it'd be hard to get a 1-drop with this. I mean, I think you could do it with Murder Host, but you would only.
Yeah, but then you have 1 hero, 1 Bloodletter hero.
Yeah, that's not very good.
The 1 hero that's going to get smushed.
Mm-hmm.
Tyrants of Blood. It's like the dumbed down version of the Council of Blood. So now they can't cast all their. Everyone's not doing all their command abilities, but now they're still gonna fight.
Right.
Which that sucks. Yeah, I wasn't real impressed with too many battalions. Brass Stampede's kind of the similar thing for the Bloodbound or Mortals, except for Skull Crushers instead of Blood Crushers, you know.
Yeah.
Gore Pilgrims is now, those are like the big ones, right? Murder Host Gore Pilgrims were the last book's MVPs. Gore Pilgrims now adds 8 inches to the range of Loathsome Sorcery and Rage of Khorne abilities used by the battalion's Bloodsecrator while it's wholly within 8 inches of any Slaughter Priest. So it doesn't even like add to it if there's more Slaughter Priests anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. So and Bloodsecrators, like, they don't give you, like, that was their big deal, is to like make you immune to battle shock. Now they're just giving you an extra attack. I used one last night. That extra attack's huge, right? And now they can move. So they move, but they only move 4 inches. They used to have to plant the flag and sit still. But I had him running with those Bloodlighters, and I would just run him if I even, you know, just to keep him close enough to keep that bubble. That extra attack is nice. And that re-rolling, I like that re-rolling where they have to re-roll their successful casts. Because most of or a good chunk of the board is already going to be at least -1, but probably -3 to cast. So if then your successes you're having to re-roll, you're just annoyed. You know what I mean?
Right. That's good.
So
and then if you re-roll it, you could make a bigger possibility of getting that 8.
Right, and if you get that 8, then you're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fun.
So on the units, what's obviously Karnak stands, or not Karnak.
Yeah, everybody loves Scarbrand. I played with them, and I rolled a 6 on that Tree Lord Ancient and just saw him disappear.
It's really good. So
it's really good. It's real situational.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the big deal, right? Like his other attacks, you're like, who gives a shit? I mean, it's okay, right? The problem with Scarbrand is he doesn't fly. He's 400 points.
But he got wing though.
But he got burnt up wings. The Khorne hates his ass.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he only moves 8 inches. He doesn't have the fly keyword. He's a big model not to fly. You know what I mean? Like push him around, it can get a little annoying. He does get better as he gets hurt more, which is fun, right? And if you don't fight in a turn, the next turn he's pissed off and he fights like he's completely beat up. So then, the more he's hurt, the better, easier it is to get Carnage off. So I mean, at full strength, it's a 5+ and the target suffers 8 mortal wounds. If you don't fight and then you go into something, I mean, on a 1+, you're automatically doing 8 mortal wounds. So it's strong. But if you roll that 6, you're getting 16 mortal wounds. He doesn't buff anything else either, is the thing I don't like about him. So he doesn't have command abilities. You know, he's just a loner. Mm-hmm. He's 400 points too. He's expensive. I don't know. That's real good though. I'm not saying it's not. But I don't know that it's, you know, it's the end all. Bloodthirsters have changed. Fury Thirster is really the standout one because he has a command ability.
Hey, Ben.
Yep.
Watch your mic. I think you're rubbing it on something.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was jerking off.
It's all right.
I love the horns so much.
We're getting a lot of... Is
that better?
Yeah, sounds good.
Do I sound good? How do I sound? Fury Thirster. I feel like I'm just like rambling, but I kind of am because I'm telling you all this information.
Get excited, man.
I'm pumped. Fury Thirster is a standout one because his command ability lets you pile in from 6 inches away and pile in 6 inches, like specifically on the wording, which is huge because he had the 6-inch pile in before, but then you weren't allowed to really do anything with it. It's just kind of lame.
Yeah.
But that's real big because you don't have to charge anything. You can just be 6 inches away and cast that, or it's like, oh, now I'm gonna be in your shit. You can only use it in the combat phase though. You have to use it to start the combat, so you can't. I found that out yesterday. You can't combo it with fighting in the hero phase with the Blood Tithe. because that would have been real fun. Bloodthirster of Rage. He gets to reroll hits of 1. This guy, but so does he would anyway. That's kind of a funny thing. They gave him that in his War Scroll still, even though they changed other things. And then they gave all Khorne demons heroes reroll 1s for attacks. Whatever. He does 4 mortal wounds. He does like a little bit more mortal wounds with his Outrageous Carnage. It's on a is it Outrageous Carnage? Yeah. Unmodified wound roll of 6. Each enemy unit within 8 inches suffers the number of mortal wounds shown on the damage table above, in addition to any normal damage. So that's the thing that you would do last time, but now you can't get it. It's unmodified. So I don't know that it's as good. It's obviously not as good as it was. So I don't know about old Rage Thirster. He does 5 attacks base. 4s, 2s, -2 Ren, D6 damage. I don't know if I would just want another Fury Thirster running around because that command ability is so good. Wrath of Khorne. Everything within 16 inches with the command ability can reroll hits just in general. That's pretty sweet. Oh, no. It's 1 unit. You pick 1 unit. I haven't even read the Wrath of Khorne one. He's like the more expensive one. All right, we're back. Nick had to go wind up his computer.
I had to pull it back on the carpet so you go.
So yeah, Wrath of Khorne Thirster, Skull Taker, Karanak. Skull Taker's got new rules. Bloodletters were doing surprising amount of damage for the unmodifiedness of their mortal wound output. It's definitely not what it was, but that was a little ridiculous. I think Blood Crushers will be good. Skull Cannons are terrible. If there was a way to buff them, but everything does extra attacks in the combat phase, so it's not there's no way to give I guess there might be 1 or 2 ways, but I couldn't find anything yet. And then we get into Mortals, Bloodbound, Lord of Khorne on Juggernauts. He's a fun guy. So Blood Secretor, everyone's mad, everyone's sad that Blood Secretor is no longer immune to Battle Shock, but there's other ways to get immune to Battle Shock. You saw the Blood Tide, or the what's it called? Prayer lets you do that. You could just have a command point laying around for it. There's there's ways to get around. Aspiring Deathbringer, I think, has a command ability. I'm about to sneeze.
We're the best podcasters.
So professional.
They usually come in 2. Am I gonna just
Hold on, you gonna wait for one more?
No, I think I'm good. Okay. But Blood Secretor is still good. I kind of talked about that with the re-rolling, making people re-roll their casting is real fun. I think that's one of the best things about it is all the anti-mage shit you can do. Slaughter Priests are the standouts. So don't forget also that War Shrines are priests. So they would get to pick a spell and use the spell on their thing, and they give everything a 6-inch, well, it's just mortal units, right? Get a 6, or not a 6-inch, but a 6, what's it called? You roll a 6 and you ignore the wound. War Shrine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
War Shrine.
Basically, feel no pain. So War Shrines are also priests, and they're not heroes, is the thing. So You can take a bunch of Slaughter Priests and a couple of War Shrines if you wanted to. Might be something worth looking into for mortals. Just because you're going to want to cast all as much as you can, I think. All of a sudden, Khorne's a casting army. They just call it prayers. Bloodstoker, he's got some use. Blood Warriors, Blood Reavers, everybody's kind of similar. They always were. They put Magor's Fiends and Riptooth in here for some reason, and Garrick's Reavers. It's like they're putting the... I don't know why they would put this in the book. I don't know. I guess it's fun. Skull Crushers, I think, are good. Wrathmongers, Skull Reapers, blah, blah, blah. I don't understand why Skyla and Korgoraths don't have the demon keyword.
Well, I think they're mortals, aren't they?
They're
Skyla's immortal.
Yeah. It's just they look like fucking demons. But I don't know. I don't know how that works. It's like in 40k, you have like demon engines that are both keywords. Like they're Chaos Space Marine and demon keyword. And it's like these could kind of do the same. These are basically the demon engines of Age of Sigmar. So, and then the good part, the judgments, Hexgorger. These dudes are absolutely fucking incredible. So they cast on a 3+. You cast them within 6 inches of whoever's, or what is it? 6 inches of each other, and wholly within 8 inches of a priest. So they're cast. So you're, let's say you're 12 inches up the board to start. They're going another 8, and then they can move another 8 inches. So they can move 16 inches from you. So that's putting them 28 inches away from your side of the table. No, from your 28 inches away from your dude, which is 40 inches across the table.
Okay.
Turn
That's
one.
a lot.
Yeah. And then everything within 12 inches of it is subtract 2 from casting for everything within 12. And then if they're if they're within 12 inches of both models and their casting roll is an unmodified 8, the casting attempt is not successful. The wizard no longer knows that spells and suffers d6. And each wizard within 12 inches of the judgment suffers d6 mortal wounds. So
I like the axe.
Everybody, yeah, all the wizards. It's like, all those Zinch wizards that are always clumped together. It's like, all of you take d6 if one of you rolls an 8. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
They're on big bases. I was surprised how big the base is. It's like that, I don't know how big that is, 60 mil?
Yeah.
Rounds?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a monster. Bleeding Icon's fun. So that's 40 points. Bleeding Icon's 40 points as well. It does the D3. What is it? Each unit that's within 1 inch of it at the end of its move, and each unit it passed over suffer D3 mortal wounds. And then any failed battle shock test within 3 inches of this model, add D3 to the number. So that's fun when stacked with that slaughter host. That gives you, that's the same thing on the D3 fleeing. So that'd be 2 D3 fleeing. You'd have to really know where you want it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So that's kind of like, you got to really know what you're going to whittle down and take battle shock. But if you're good with target priority, this could be pretty fun.
Yeah.
And it's only 40 points. And then the Wrath Axe, not as impressed with this one. I mean, this thing could do work, right? But you have to roll a 5+, and a 5+, even with rerolls, is not super easy to get off.
I think it's worth it though. I think it's my
points.
I mean the spell ones are pretty good.
Yeah.
They're probably the best ones, but
Sure.
my second favorite probably the axe because it gives a unit -1 to hit.
Yeah.
And then it does D3 wounds and then D6 wounds.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of wounds. So it does a lot for a 5-up for sure.
No, it does a lot. I'm not saying it doesn't. It definitely subtract 1 from hit rolls for attacks made by units within 3 inches of this model. I mean, so it's not just one unit. It's like everything within 3 of it. So, and that stuff just took a bunch of mortals.
Yeah.
So that's
keep a priest next to it to stay there on a 4-up. So
right, and that's another thing. If things are at the end of the battle round, you roll. It's a 5-up to keep the judgments on the table because you can't dispel them. So that's kind of sucks if you're going second,
yeah.
because then they're not on the table next turn or the next player. Unless you roll a 5-up. But if you keep for each priest next to them, it drops it 1. So you could.
I think it's only one. You can only drop it once. It says any priest.
Oh, it says any. So yeah, you can drop it to 4+. But it does. It's still a judgment roll, isn't it? So you could re-roll it if you're within the 8.
I'm not sure if the keep it on the board is a judgment roll or not.
Well, let's look at judgments.
Mm.
I would think it's a judgment roll. You know what I mean?
Right.
In my brain spots. But I'm always looking for the fucking cheese, so I want it to be a judgment roll. Judgment of Khorne. At the end of each battle round, roll a dice for each judgment of Khorne on the battlefield that you set up. Add 1 to the roll if there are any Khorne priests from your army wholly within 8 inches of the judgment of Khorne. On a 1 to 4, that judgment of Khorne is removed from the battlefield. So it just says judgment a lot, so I'm going to call it a judgment roll.
I believe you.
Because the wording on the skull altar is you can re-roll prayers and judgment rolls for friendly Khorne priests wholly within 8 inches of this model. But I guess for the Khorne priest, so that's I would still say it's true. We'll see what the fact says.
Yeah, right.
So that's basically the army points. Some shit got shifted. Bloodletters are a little cheaper. The skull cannons are 20 points cheaper. Anything big. I mean, the Fury Thirster is 300 points. He's the good one, I think. What's his name? Karanak dropped a little. He's 20. He's 140. He was 160 there for a little bit.
I thought he dropped to 100.
Nope.
I could be wrong.
No,
I think he's still worth it.
Yeah, I mean you get a free unit if you position him right.
And then he can de-spell in the spell and a spell in one turn.
And
then take mortals. So
yeah. He's just those hero slots on in Khorne are just real. You only get 6 of them.
Right.
And I'm like auto take 3 priests. So like now I have 3 left. What am I gonna put in there?
Right.
All right, so that's all of the rules. My take on the army is that most people go into Khorne playing it wrong and are looking for the army that's going to run across the board real fast and just beat up stuff, and you can't play Khorne that way.
Right.
Now, I think it's more than ever, this is like a board control army, and now with all the magic denial, like that's even more board control. Because it's not the fact that you're doing the -3 to all the wizards necessarily, or -6 if you have a Khorne dragon. But it's the fact that it's there. So there's a whole section of the board where people don't want to put their wizards. So you're making your opponent think about that, and then they're like going to be making moves that they're not used to making, and so you're wanting to capitalize on that. So they're going to spread their army out different than they would normally do. Those kind of things. Using your blood tithe intelligently, like making sure you're like, if you need to be in a different position to where you are, if you need to box things out away from objectives, making sure you like, such as yesterday in a game, I was on an objective. I knew I was going to get killed off of it, but I needed to like box the guy I was playing away from it, like keep him away from it. So his heroes wouldn't get on it that turn, but they'd have to take a whole nother turn by killing the rest of these models to get to the objectives. but I was able to move in my hero phase in order just to keep within that, little space, but still, anyway, there's a lot of movement shenanigans that this army is really the best at. We don't have the teleport you across the board. We don't have the come in from a board edge, all that kind of stuff. We do have, if you use it right, I think that summoning is effective, but it takes away from Blood Tithe. I wish it wasn't the same thing.
Yeah, right.
Because that makes it sad. I just, you really gotta. It's all about like movement and feinting and drawing people in, and the blood bind prayer where you're moving other people's models across the board to you. Those kind of things are super important. But yeah, I think it's super strong with all the things you can do now. I feel like before it was one trick pony, like you had these things it could do, and you weren't relying on, like, it wasn't a complete book. Now and we had artifacts and all the things. It was a good book. But now it's like, now you have a complete army that you can really sift through and find those sweet spots. And those attacking twice command abilities, the pile in 6-inch command abilities, there's a lot to this. I'm excited too. I'm really excited again. Khorne is my jam. Who wants to buy an Ideneth army? $800.
That's expensive.
Don't say that, Nick. You're like, oh, that's a good deal, and then someone will buy it from me.
I don't know about that, Tim.
OBO.
I like getting things for half price or lower.
I know you do. I'm like, I'm never gonna sell this army for half price. I put too much fucking work into it.
Well, it's the price you got to pay.
I mean, I don't really need to sell it though, so it's not. Right. I have a Khorne army already.
It's nice having 2 armies or 5. All right. Well, let's give this battle tome away.
All right.
How about it?
Who's on the list?
So we have a new Patreon, Denny Weinman. He's a new Patreon. We got Charles Fox. We got John Napick, straight shooter.
Nah.
I'm gonna call him DJ John Napick. It like rolls off the tongue.
DJ John Napick.
And then we got Mike Driscoll. We got Ryan Gervaisa, Shay Ramsey, and then Chase Lehman from We're All Doomed podcast. So 13 and what was it, 27 we did last time.
Yeah.
I need a random number between 1
and 30. It's Khorne, so you have to do 8.
Ooh, that's Charles Fox.
Never mind.
we with him.
Well,
Charles Fox plays Khorne, kind of.
I know, it's lucky. Yeah, it's actually, like, I added this new guy on. His last number was 7 and it moved to 8. So he has like 5 of them, so lucky him.
Congratulations, Mr. Fox.
I'll get that to him probably at the tournament, more than likely.
That's awesome. And I'll teach him how to play Khorne.
There you go.
Teach me how to Khorne.
Well,
it's in my name. It's in my name.
I
gotta play this army. Cornelius.
Huh. Don't say. All right, guys. Let's call it good there for tonight.
I'm tired.
All right, guys.
See you, fuck boys.
Later, nerds.